Hi everyone, Jason here. Hope you're safe and well. Back with another special edition, this time of Soundtrap with Jason, dedicated to you teachers. I've been putting off doing this video, but I've really been wanting to do a walkthrough for teachers to show off how useful Soundtrap can be as a resource for teaching remotely, which you can take back to school with you anyway as well. Soundtrap is an amazing tool, the collaboration side of things, how you can communicate with your students, how you can group your classes and set and assign work. It's an amazing tool. So let's get into it. So one of the reasons Soundtrap is so useful as an educator is that you can sign in, as long as you've got a computer or a device and an internet connection, you and your students can connect to Soundtrap wherever you are. So you don't have to have a piece of software downloaded and set up on the student computer or your computer, and you can only use it with that device. You can sign in from anywhere. So head to soundtrap.com. and we're going to click join now, and we're going to use this for educational use. It's really important to set this up correctly when you're signing in for the first time. So click on educational use, not personal use, and we're going to start as a teacher. I've done a video, if you haven't checked it out already, how to join as a student. So if you would like to forward that on to your students, feel free to pass that on and go and check it out. So start as a teacher. Now, I'm not going to run through this bit by bit. It's a normal sign-in, sort of sign-up procedure. I'm sure you guys can figure this out. You can currently get a 90-day free trial to see if it's going to work for you and your classrooms. At the moment as well, because of the coronavirus, they've actually extended the seats that you can have, and I'll explain this in a little bit more detail soon, from 50 as a startup trial to 400. So that's pretty awesome. I'm already set up, obviously, so I'm just going to sign in to my account, and I'll give you a little bit of a walkthrough. Okay, so once you've signed up and logged in, this is the screen that you will land on. Let's take a little look around. I'm going to get rid of my head so that we can see a little bit more detail as to what's going on. Firstly, we've got our projects tab here. These different tabs take you to different areas. I'm not going to show you all of them today. I'll let you explore. There's three main ones that we want to look at. Firstly, my projects, which is where all of our work appears, the independent stuff, and also collaborations that you've done with people. You can organize them into different folders. You can set assignments, which will do that for you, and we'll get to that in a little while. Obviously, the first thing you're going to need to do is to get your students into the classroom and to organize those classes. So I'm going to start here in my groups. What the purpose of my groups is to be able to organize your different classrooms, be able to organize your different sections that you're going to be working with. So I've got here speech exercises, a hip hop group. Let's make a hip hop beat. I run PD on Soundtrap, so that's all my accounts that I've got set up for that. And these are just a few different example accounts, groups, I should say, that show how you can organize your classes. So essentially you could have, say, Year 6A music class, 6B music class, 6C music class. I would organize those into separate classes, and they will all be in the one space together. Now, why it's important to do that, I think, is because it's the easiest way to invite students. And just a reminder, there is the first video that I recorded for Soundtrap has a really detailed walkthrough for how students can access Soundtrap. So the code, the invite code that I refer to in that video are these codes here. So if you want to invite a class, I would create the group here, copy the code, and email it to them. The other way, I'll show you in a moment, is that you can create links using that. I can create group here. I can join groups by adding other codes that I've been invited to that way, and students can do it that way as well. So let's jump over to where we can see who's in the groups and organize things that way. The EDU admin tab right here will let you do that. Now, how this works is you can see all the seats that you've got. Now, a seat just refers to the user, the person that you've invited. So say you've purchased 100 seats, you can allocate 100 students right here. But if you've got different groups coming through over the course of the year, you can reallocate those seats. Okay, so I can actually select these different users, edit the seats. I can unassign those seats and assign them to other students, and that just frees up the amount that you've got. Like I said earlier, Soundtrap have currently been offering 400 seats during the COVID crisis, which I think is a pretty awesome thing. And this is just where you can organize and see who is actually in those classes. You can actually see the groups that they're in. If I scroll down a little further, you can see, yep, there's different groups organized there. I've got dummy accounts that I've set up so I can show examples of this sort of work, but you'll be able to see the groups that they've been joined to. Now, how do I bulk import? Click on this import users tab here, and this is again a number of different options for you to bring students into the classroom. First of all, you could just start by choosing the group. These are the groups that I was just in the other tab. Choose the group that you want to join the students to. You can either copy that code or actually copy this link and share that via email, or write that down. They can enter it themselves. So that's the easiest way I've found to import users into these groups. You can also set them up with, if you've got a list of their email addresses, you can set them up with a temporary password so that when they first sign in, it will actually prompt them to reset the password, and there you go, they're off and running. Also, we've got CSV files, we can go through G Suite, we can go through Google Classroom, and it's amazing how Soundtrap is actually integrated with these other software. So again, I'm going to let you go and figure that part out. It's all very, very simple step-by-step process, but that is how you get your users in. So the other tabs here that, again, I'm going to let you have a look at and figure that out. Soundtrap's offered a number of resources. There's a blog that has contribution from teachers all around the world. There's some really great class ideas in a full range of subjects as well. It's not just locked into making music. Using this as a podcasting tool is probably the most flexible way that you can use Soundtrap. So there are a whole lot of lesson plans and suggestions there. There are a number of resources and really, really detailed step-by-step how-tos that I'm probably not going to cover. I'm just doing a little bit of a general walkthrough just so you can see what's possible. So how do we set student work? How do we get the students in there collaborating so that you can see what they're up to or not up to, communicate with them, all that sort of business. So there's two main ways, the best ways that I've found to set work in Soundtrap. So I'm going to head back to my title screen, so the project area. And there's two different ways. So it depends exactly what it is you want from the group. If you've got individual work, the easiest way is to set assignments. If you want students in there collaborating with each other, you would get one of the students to start a project, invite the other people that they're going to be collaborating with, and to invite you as the teacher to be able to view what's being done and see where they're at, communicate through the project. So I'm going to start a project here. Now, this is how the students would do it if we were thinking in group works. So once we jump into the studio here, I'm going to say we're working on a music project today. This is the studio area. If you want a more detailed run through, there is a previous video showing how to use loops, how to set up instruments and record, and there'll be more tutorials for, say, podcasting and recording your voice coming soon as well. Now, the main areas, just very quickly, we've got loops here that we can just start working on. We can add new tracks here, which would bring up an option of all the different instruments that you can record in. You can also set up with a digital interface, a guitar going through that, so you can record in from outside Soundtrap. You can make beats, all that sort of thing. But if we're starting up a group, this is the window that we need to see, the collaboration window. So click invite on that. And you can add people. You can either share an invitation via this link, or you can actually type and search for people that you know have already signed up for Soundtrap, and they will appear there. Piece of cake. Okay. This is also where you communicate. So once there are other collaborators in here, this becomes a text window, and you can actually have a stream of information, have the students communicating with each other. You can be setting tasks through that way, and this is where all the information is, and you can see all the music that's being created over here. You can also do video calls and just regular calls through the collaborator window. Now, I'm going to just quickly set up a quick project. I'm not really sure what these sounds are, but great. There we are. Okie dokie. So we've got a very simple loop there that we can work with. And what I want to do here is I want to invite individuals to record a unique melody on the piano, say. The best way to do that is to set your project up, maybe create this foundation area here using some of the loops, or maybe recording a melody or piano line of your own. And we need to save this. Whoops, I'll put a name on it. Melody project. Great. Save it again. Now I'm going to return back out into my projects area. So I can click on this little icon here. All right, so we're back on our project home screen, and right here I can see my melody project. I can play that back here. I could invite users from out here. I can go back into the studio clicking that, or I could click on these three dots and that brings up a different menu. What we want to do is assign this project to individuals so that they can contribute to it. You can oversee their work, and you can communicate with them in the project. So what we want to do here is we want to create assignment. And what that will do is automatically organize this specific assignment into a folder. So you don't have a clogged up project list and, you've got Davey and Sophie's project here and things going everywhere. This organizes everything into one neat place, which is really handy. So now you want to share the assignment and actually assign it to the students. Again, a number of different ways of doing that. You can go through Google Classroom and set a task if that's what you use. That's the one I use personally at my schools, and it's so useful, and you can just set it all up. It's good to go. It links them straight back into Soundtrap right from the classroom. I don't use Microsoft Teams myself, but it works the same way. And this is the other way. You can actually share it with a link. So just copy that link. Now, however you connect with your students, whether that's through your own email system at school, or whether that's through Soundtrap, we can actually go up and there's this mail feature up here. And I can email that link to my students. I can just add all the users that I know are in that group, or I could go back into my groups like we were looking at before. So here's my mail area. So I can actually communicate that way as well, which is really useful. For the sake of the video, let's go back in and invite my group to this project. So I'm going to go back over to my groups. head over to my groups, and I'll jump into the same group that we've been looking at. Send a message to my group. Say, hi, I'd like you to add a melody over great. Put your link in there and send it out. Okay, so what I've just done is I've actually signed out of my education account, and I've signed in as one of the users in that group that we've been looking at. So my name's changed here. I can head up to this mail area again, click on that. You can see I've got a notification, and that will have my invitation. So, hi, I'd like you to add a melody. That's the one. So this is what the student will see. Takes them straight into the studio. I would have them save their work with their name in the title. Okay. There it is, and we can add a new track and record in a melody. Again, there is a video tutorial on how to do that. Just look back over the series. Now I'd have them change the name, so student save that. I'm going to jump back out and go back into my education account again so you can see how that appears for me as a teacher. All right, so I'm back in my EDU user teacher account, and if I now scroll all the way down, I can see that there's a new folder that's been created, the Melody project, and there's 2 projects inside that folder. So I'm going to open that up, and we can see that there's the original project that I've made, that I'm invited to, and Melody project student name, because I was not very creative with names. Let's go into that studio, and we can now see what work's been done. We can communicate through the collaboration window and set tasks that way, one-on-one. So now we can see in our collaborator window here, I could say, "Ooh, how are you traveling with your melody?" So you can communicate that way. And so you can get your students in and have a dialogue going one-on-one. You can actually offer feedback and offer assistance that way. Okay guys, hope that's been helpful and informative. I've tried to give a more broad stroke sort of overview of using Soundtrap. The best way to learn Soundtrap is to get in there and to use it with your classes. Soundtrap have also provided a number of resources, more of a step-by-step sort of guide for individual tasks and the features in there. So feel free to get in there and have a look. There's obviously some lesson plans as well available. There's some really interesting ideas to use Soundtrap for more than just instrumental classes and music classes. I hope that's been informative. Stay safe and well. I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe for more videos. See ya.